Hey everybody, hey YouTube, hello Internet, hey guys, and hey all targeted individuals, and just people suffering from tyranny, torture, experimentation. Um, it's your boy Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine, aka Vulcan Wolverine 2. I hope everybody's doing pretty well, finding some things to give you some peace, a little bit of attenuation on this stuff. Still hard, even for me using the defenses, and there's just a lot of beautiful people out there suffering so badly. Um, but we do have a lot of hopeful stuff coming up, and we have no choice. We've got to keep going and getting this information out. I'm gonna make this video kind of short. I was gonna do a live stream, but it's important information. I kind of just wanted to focus on it and do a short video. Uh, Maybe not ramble too much. But Stacy has sent me a couple of things that were really important. I wanted to show a couple of them on this video. Thank you so much, Stacy. You are an angel. You are a sweet angel. And she's going through a hard time with her targeting too. She's trying some defenses and stuff, but yeah, there's just so many beautiful people, suffering from this, me included. I was trying to make a joke so I wouldn't cry. Uh, but yeah, but everybody's fighting. So many beautiful people like fighting this. So I just wanted to put forward this really important information. Stacy sent this to me, and she found it off the PAX international website. This is a letter from the office of the City Council of Richmond, California, to Amy Anderson. Amy Anderson has been doing activism in California for years and years and years trying to get this stopped, and she's been very successful. I think the most successful targeted individual with dealing with local government. So I wanted to read this letter, and I'm going to put the my brain is not doing really well at all. I'm a little bit worried. I mean, like I've got the really bad pain, like body pain. I got most of that kind of taken care of. I do attenuate a lot, but man, my head, they can just wipe a memory or something that I'm thinking of. So the mind control is just pretty bad. Okay, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on this. I forgot what I was talking about. I completely forgot what I was talking. Okay, so this is a letter from the City Council of Richmond addressing Amy Anderson and addressing space-based weapons. So addressing directed energy weapon technologies being used on citizens in California and in America. So let me just read it. But okay, that's what I was saying. I'm gonna put this file in the description for the video. Okay, so let me read it real quick because it's kind of hard to see. Hopefully you can just get the link, or you can go to the PAX. I'm not sure which newsletter it was in. I'm not sure which newsletter it was in, but hopefully you can either find it there, or just when you open it in the link that the document that I'm going to put in the description, you'll be able to see it better. Okay, so this is from Richmond, California, Office of the City Council, June 13th, 2019. Dear Amy Anderson, other members of the Richmond City Council and I, Councilman Nathaniel Bates, are much aware of your efforts to enact a city-based legislation regulating local authority in innovative space-based technology, of which directly falls under federal and international jurisdiction. The Space Preservation Act of 2001 reaffirmed U.S. policy that activities in space should be devoted to peaceful purposes. As you also are aware, the City of Richmond has done what it can to acknowledge and support individuals who claim to be targeted individuals by adopting Resolution 51-15 in support of targeted individuals who claim to be under assault from space-based weaponry, and reference the Space Preservation Act, SPA. The SPA was introduced by the 107th Congress, H.R. 2977, to preserve the cooperative, peaceful uses of space for the benefit of all humankind by permanently prohibiting the the basing of weapons in space by the United States, and to require the President to take action to adopt and implement a world treaty banning space-based weapons. The resolution demonstrated the city's support of these proposed actions and, more importantly, support for those individuals who identify themselves as targets of space-based weapons. Per your request, this letter is of my support on your efforts of seeking further legislative direction by contacting Congressman Mark DeSaulniers' office. I wish you the best on taking further steps and commend you for being a strong advocate for the TI community. So this is Nathaniel Bates, councilman and former mayor of Richmond, California, acknowledging targeted individuals and acknowledging Amy Anderson's fight and activism and further activism to try and get new legislation going. I think there's a lot of new legislation in the works in California, like Tomo's working on some. Ella talked to another woman who was working on some, and then Amy's working with the city council in Richmond, and I think beyond that too. So I think there's a lot of work going on there. Let's see, Enclosure 1, Resolution 5115 in support of the Space Preservation Act and the Space Preservation Treaty to permanently ban space-based weapons, adopted May 19th, 2015. So I just wanted to, I just wanted to put this in a video, and then I'm going to put the document in the description so everybody can have this as some more concrete evidence of directed energy weapon torture and experimentation in the United States of America and worldwide. And we can add this concrete evidence to the mounds and mounds and mountains of evidence that already exist, and just me sitting on this video being targeted, that's evidence, and all the targeted individuals making videos, that's evidence. And also this if y'all haven't seen this, but basically we're going to put it on the mounds and mounds of evidence. I say, this is what I say that everybody knows about this by now. Like maybe the random public that never watches, that has no social media and just watches mainstream news, maybe they would be like, oh, what's targeted individuals? Everybody that matters, like senators and representatives and all the government agencies and everybody worldwide who like counts in making decisions, they know about this. They know about this. So we got to just keep pushing and pushing. I think we're at a point of like, okay, everybody knows, but now what do we do? I'm just going to declare that because I'm not sure about that, like how many people know about it. So I'm just going to start declaring it to be positive, and then it will happen, right? It's worth a shot. It's definitely worth a shot. Also wanted to tell you guys, Romola had a great interview with Karen Stewart about the judge who ruled that a certain terrorist watch list with like 4,000 something people on it was unconstitutional. When that ruling of unconstitutional happens, it's a huge deal because it makes everything like that unconstitutional. It sets a precedent. So go and check this interview out, with Romola and Karen Stewart. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. I think Karen was saying, I might go through and maybe show some of the more important parts of the interview, but Karen was saying like the judge has to get back some more information from the people who were making the complaint, who were filing the complaints, before the judge makes a decision on how to move forward, on how to actually forward steps on trying to correct this. Now, these 4,000 people on this terrorist watch list, are any of them targeted individuals? I don't know. I think there's way more than 4,000 targeted individuals in America. But it would set a precedent. So this is a very, very important issue. This is a great interview. I might take some little bits of it and make a video out of it. I'm not sure. But everybody go check that out. Probably everybody that watches my channel, watches Romola's interviews. But just in case, if you haven't seen it, do go check it out. What else did I want to show you guys? Stacy's been sending me a lot of like really, really good links. She does way better research than me. I haven't really, I've been kind of slacking off lately, doing some live streams and stuff, but I'm just so tired and kind of tired of talking about. I've told y'all that, I've told y'all that. It's like all of this is just too much all the time, and then it's like tonight I woke up. I'm doing okay. Like I'm doing relatively okay, I guess. So I don't want to complain. Some people are having a lot harder of a time than me, and I've found some really really great defenses. So every night I'm not like, oh, I'm freaking dying. But it's still like the things that it's done to my brain. I don't know the extent of them, and like I attenuate the stuff, but the remote neural manipulation that my attackers are doing has gone on for so long that it's impossible to keep track of what they're actually doing, because they start doing things like at the beginning it was very very obvious, like the remote neural manipulation, very very obvious when they would try and put something in my visual cortex or something in my inner voice or a feeling, very obvious that it wasn't mine. It was very easy to tell those things apart, but they've been doing it so long, and they've tried to do more and more to slip things in and constantly automatedly slip things in that are not me, but since they're over such long periods of time, it's like this conditioning, like a psyop conditioning, but a literal physical conditioning of my brain, like a physical rape over a long term. And I'm sure a lot of you targeted individuals know what I'm talking about. And attenuates a lot of it out, but some of it gets through. So like a certain percentage, the certain percentage that gets through all the time, makes me very tired and damages my brain neurologically. I mean, so gosh, so many people out there suffering. This should be done by now. It should have been done by the Cuban. It should have never happened. Never mind. I go back on it. Should be done. This should have never happened. It's insane. It's insane. It's an everyday 24-hour day war. The gang stalkers and these DHS fusion centers are armies of domestic terrorists. They're armies of domestic terrorists attacking good, innocent Americans. The Americans that are considered targeted individuals, are innocent. They're being false flagged, also being experimented on and tortured to the utmost that's ever happened in human history. This needs to end. It needs to end. I'm just voicing common things that all targeted individuals, you all know. This needs to end. So we're going to move forward and do that. I figured, I'm feeling kind of hard to get organized. So I just wanted to put this important information out. This is another link from Stacy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stacy, because she's going through a hard time. Also, check out her channel too. Check out S. Robles. She has some very, very important testimony. So go give her some thumbs up and subscribe to her channel. I'm going to go to it real quick so y'all can see it. And so and she hasn't made like a million videos. Like I think I'm close to 1,000. I think she's made like maybe 20, 25 videos or something. Maybe it's more than that, but it's a good example of what every targeted individual should do. Just say what's happening to you. Just document it. It's just so important. So everybody, if you haven't been to Stacy's channel, please go and subscribe and give her some support. Okay, S. Robles. And okay, and let me go over this article right here. So this is from the jnlwp.defense.gov. I'll put the link in the description, but it's from the non-lethal weapons program. The non-lethal weapons program. It's not. They're not lethal if you're hit with them for like a minute, but if they train these things on you with motion compensating and just keep it targeted on you for decades, then they're very, very lethal. It causes permanent damage to the brain and the cells in the body, joints, just the nervous system. I mean, it feels like I may like look normal when I'm sitting here, but this is what it feels. It feels like my whole spine has been like charred on the inside. It's not that bad right now. I just yeah, it's not that bad right now. I can get through it. I'm gonna find better things. Yeah, we've already found some things. So I was telling somebody, who I'm helping with the fences. I was just like, it's like climbing up when you start using some of these, like Dave Case's CD, the noise canceling hearing aids, the grounding. It's like climbing up, and you're gonna still have some ups and downs. Like your attackers are just gonna like really, really amp things up sometimes, but you're on we want to be on a consistent up, right? So it's like instead of just keep going down, you want to be on a consistent up, and then it's like oh, but you're consistently going up, right? I hope y'all understood that. I'm really wonky right now. I'm like wonk wonk, and I'm gonna. I heard. Okay, let me. I know I'm babbling a lot. I'm gonna get to this information. Me and Corey were talking about the vaping is being banned. They're banning some of the flavored vapes, but Corey sent me a text and he was telling me that the vaping, the people who died from it, they had like THC vape mixed with some kind of vitamin D. So it was like a very weird uh, like a one-off case. It wasn't just regular vaping things you'd use. It was like THC vape mixed with vitamin D, and it like congealed in their lungs. So the articles and stuff about it don't seem to be telling the truth. It's not very truthful because it was a very specific kind of vape that was killing people. I gotta check that out. I haven't checked it out enough, but I think I'm gonna quit anyway. Because I just sit here all the time. Like I think my mom was watching some of my videos, and I just constantly vape through my videos, and she ended up saying something to my dad, I think, and my dad just like freaked out, because of all the people dying, I think 6 people that I've heard of, and he was freaking out. He was freaking out and saying, "I'm really concerned about this," which, it's ridiculous. It's like I wouldn't be vaping or doing anything like that if I wasn't stuck in my condo being murdered by directed energy weapons. And it's also it's ridiculous. Well, and I understand my dad's concern, but I think everything's ridiculous, right? So everything's ridiculous, but I think it's ultra ridiculous that in the news, we got to get rid of vaping. We got to get them off the shelves. We got to get rid of the flavor vaping because like 6 people died from vaping. Yet, what continues? The torture and murder of innocent people, innocent civilians all over the world from neuro weapon torture and directed energy weapon torture. No, we're not getting on. Nobody's getting on that. Nobody's jumping on that. But it's like big tobacco's losing some money because of vaping. Oh, get those things off the shelf. Get those 6 people died. Get those things off the shelf. How many people are dying from this targeting program? And I'll go back to why nobody is jumping to our rescue is because it's part of the plan. It's part of the bigger plan of the top of the pyramid. We're supposed to be sacrificed for the advancement of these weapons and worldwide to solidify the infrastructure of neuro weapons and directed energy weapons, and to scale down the weapons and advance the weapons more, and to learn more about control of the nervous system and the brain. It's planned by the upper echelons of the system, and then yeah, it's so depressing. All right, let me read this article, guys. Hold on, let me take a sip of my energy drink. We're gonna get this done. Sometimes it's just overwhelming, and then it's like I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, I'm gonna make a video, and I've been making videos for years while I've been being tortured to death, and of course, like I found defenses and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna go into that right now. But it's become so normalized. Like I'm sitting here, I have V2K I'm being tortured, and it's like I'm making another video. I remember at the beginning, like every video was like, we got to stand up today because we're fighting for our lives, and after years and years and years, I'm sitting here going, okay, well, we're still being tortured to death. It's still permanently damaging our brains and our bodies, and here, let me read this material. Um, it's just weird. It's just weird, I'll tell you that much. It's just really weird. Um, this has to end soon. So many good things are happening. I'm gonna pump myself up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just y'all. This sucks. Like, this really sucks. Yeah, this really sucks. So many good things are happening. We got to focus on that and buy time with the fences. Y'all know my routine. I don't want to get annoying with it, but I probably will be getting very annoying with it. I've already gotten annoying with it. Gotta attenuate, gotta get the percentages, gotta hit from every angle. Gotta hit from every angle. So you're doing defenses, attenuating, the electromagnetic frequencies of the vestibular system, using passive shielding for the head and the ears, using supplements to get your energy up, calcium with vitamin D. So many things, but hit it from a lot of different angles. Chemical shielding with either lorazepam or some type of anti-anxiety thing that can buffer the nervous system down. Hit it from every angle, every angle. Just throw everything. We gon' throw everything and the kitchen sink and stuff beyond the kitchen sink at this thing. That's what we gotta do, and that's what we gotta keep doing, guys. That's what we got to keep doing. I'm gonna drink another thing of this real quick. Okay, I think I'm gonna read this one. I'm just gonna read this. I guess it's an article from the Department of Defense. So that should tell you it's not a conspiracy theory, right? For any authority files, right? Is that what we call them? People who only listen to authority figures, the authority figures that are hiding a torture program and murdering people in their homes. Well, this is the authority talking about this stuff. Let's see how the authority talks about it. I'm in a weird mood, guys, so I want to finish this up. I want to finish this up quick because I don't want to say anything like me. It's just like, okay, this is the thing, and it's even with some targeted individuals too. Constantly listening to authority figures, and that never stopped. Like, even when authority figures turned on us and murdered us in our homes, we still listen to doctors, and we still listen to policemen, and those are the people that we want to listen to most, as targeted individuals who have been completely betrayed by the system. And we see the authority figures murder and lie, and we're still authority files. Everybody, okay, I'm gonna stop. It's just like, okay. Sorry. It's good to, there are some authority figures that are very smart, some doctors and, ex-military and stuff. They're good guys, good to listen to. They got some power. I find it weird how we didn't change. Like, being murdered by the military, we still listen to military more than people who are, being murdered. That's okay. I'm sorry, guys. Let me move on. Okay, directed energy weapons research, new frontier. I can't read this. Okay, directed energy weapons research, a new frontier for Air Force medicine, by Peter Holstein, Air Force Medical Service. No, okay, so, and this is, okay, I told y'all where some, and I'll put the link in the description too. November 8, 2017. On the battlefield of tomorrow, bullets and bombs will not be the only threat to the U.S. military personnel. The rise of directed energy weapons is creating a need, and this is from 2017, so keep in mind this is from 2017. And none of this is a new frontier. This has been researched. People have been experimenting on with directed energy weapons since like the 1950s, maybe a little bit before. So, like, all these things that say, oh, it's a new frontier, and the Pentagon's just starting to focus on directed energy weapons and crap like that. That's a lie. That's a lie, and they have to say that so that the mind control of the public can stay locked in, and they can be like, "Oh, it's a directed energy weapons are new, and they just came onto the scene, and they're just gonna somehow work." There was no experimentation anywhere, you know. Okay, sorry guys, I'm in a really weird mood. I don't know. Okay, on the battlefield of tomorrow, bullets and bombs will not be the only threat to U.S. military personnel. The rise of directed energy weapons is creating a need to understand the medical effects of these weapons, and Air Force medical researchers are studying these questions. Evolving threats in a dangerous world drive the direction of military health research. Directed energy weapons are one of the newest forms of weapons, just making their way from research and development onto the battlefield. Let's read that lie again. Directed energy weapons are one of the newest forms of weapons, just making their way from research and development onto the battlefield. Now, what would that research and development be? Like targeted individuals, we know it's using it on human beings to see the long-term effects of it and everything. Research and development, you know. They research and develop the weapons. They hit human beings with it, tether human beings to it, tether the brain and the nervous system to the directed energy weapons over a long period of time to see what will happen, to see what they can get the human beings to do and stuff like this. Now, this would be probably Air Force Research Laboratory, which would put out contracts for what it needed to find out, and then contractors and subcontractors, some of them would manufacture the weapons for that research, or they maybe already have the weapons manufactured, and then some of the contractors or subcontractors would pick up the contracts, the specific contracts from the Air Force Research Laboratory to test on humans, like to test directed energy weapons on humans, to see what it does to the skin, to the eyes, long term, like hooking this into a person and hitting a person for their whole life to see what kind of effects it causes, right? Things like that. And those are only a couple of angles. You know, there's so many vast number of murder, torture protocols just to see what will happen and what they can get a person to do and how much it hurts, like the pain levels and how much cell damage and how much DNA damage and if it causes cancer, tumors and things like that. So there's all that insanely satanic psycho stuff that shouldn't just be done to random people, and it's been happening for a long time and it's still happening. It's never stopped. Yeah. Okay, so right now we don't see many directed energy weapons in current conflicts, said Lieutenant Colonel Richard Yu. The problem with that statement, I don't want to stop too much, I just want to read it, but it is being used in a lot of conflicts. It was being used in like 1990 something in Africa, and it's been used in Black Ops during all of the different wars. You know, all of the different wars, probably even in Vietnam, you know, it was used, but they just don't. It's like it's classified, you know, it's for certain clearances, and you got the problem of every single day, citizens are being hit by these weapon systems and tethered to these weapon systems and fried and tortured and experimented on 24 hours a day in all these different communities around the world, not just in America, around the world, every country. So they're everywhere. They're being used everywhere. It's proliferated. They're being used in regular wars, and they don't say it. You know, they cover it up because it's classified. They're using these things. They're being used for other things too, like the California fires and things, and other things that maybe I don't even know. They're being used everywhere. It's operational and experimental in every country, and they have been for a long time. These aren't just popping onto the battlefield. They aren't just hanging in some locker, waiting to be used, waiting for the military-industrial complex to announce to the American people, oh, in this next upcoming war, we're going to get these directed energy weapons out of the locker, and we're going to go ahead and try them because they're out of a prototype. No. They're just being used everywhere, prototype or not. You know, in prototype stages and more advanced stages and all the different stages in many different ways, and they're being used. They've been used for a long time, and they're still being used every day, 24 hours a day. I talk to the people. I am one of the people who is being, attacked 24 hours a day. My mom and my dad are too. Not quite sure about the rest of my family, but I talk to other targeted individuals who are being fired on. Who are being fired on, not just fired on by directed energy weapons, but also tethered to neuroweapons like electromagnetic fields, bidirectional streams of energy to their head while they're being externally fired on because they're, these programs have their positioning, just seeing what they can, how much damage they can do, seeing how they can ruin families and things like that for full spectrum dominance and just to experiment on many different angles. So right now we don't see many directed energy weapons in current conflicts. It's not true. They're all over the world. They're being used everywhere. There are people going from country to country to try and get away from the attacks. These are conflicts. Like right now I'm in a conflict. We need to shift the perspective from just like, oh, this is just a couple people we're being, no. Like right now I'm in a war. Like I'm in a war right now. There's people shooting. They're remotely tying directed energy to my head. I'm using defenses to try and shield it, which I'm doing a pretty good job. I do. It's an all the time thing. So they get a certain percentage through all the time, and then some of the mind stuff. It's like I think the bidirectional stream of energy, I'm having a hard time stopping. I stop a lot of the. Okay, I'm getting way off the topic. But basically, what I'm saying is, this is a war. These are conflicts in every community. It's weapon systems being fired on citizens, and then the citizens, like families, either maybe believe in them a little bit or completely like being part of the program and turning on them, or completely treating them like they're mentally ill. That's a war. That's a war. It's just in a different. It looks different. So this guy's a liar. He's a liar. And I'm gonna do it like I know a lot of people are like, oh man, just read the article. This is just what, but no, no. This is a war. This guy is lying. They're saying, oh, we're gonna maybe, and it gets into people's heads. This propaganda stuff and the way that things are said, it gets into people's already mind-controlled, softened marshmallow brains, and then they're just like, oh, well, yeah, these weapons are about to be used. Like, they really believe it. So it's important to smack that propaganda. Get that black propaganda out of there. You want the white propaganda, or get bad propaganda out. And then you want the good propaganda in. We got to keep saying the right things, what's really going on, over and over and over, so that people don't believe the lies that the Department of Defense is putting out themselves. Okay, so let's see. Let's not read that again. Said Lieutenant Colonel Richard Yu, Chief of the Counter Directed Energy Weapons Branch in the Air Force Medical Support Agency. We're in the early stages of learning about the long and short-term medical effects these weapons. So listen closely. Listen closely. Listen closely here. We're in the early stages of learning about the long and short-term medical effects these weapons have on people, both in terms of collateral damage and users. So think about that. Think about, like, that's one angle of why targeted individuals are tortured their whole lives, because they want to see, like, what happens when we flood somebody's system with microwaves and hit them externally and just do it their whole life. Let's see what happens to their body. Let's see what happens to their cells. Let's see what happens to their genetics, their DNA. Let's see what kind of cancers they get, And this one's for my attackers right now. They want to see what those POSs, the kind of diseases they get, right? They want to see that if they get cancer, if they go crazy from operating the equipment. They want to see what happens to the users of the equipment too. Says it right there. Says it right there. Okay, so both in terms of collateral damage and users, we would be the collateral damage. And when Stacy sent it to me, she was like, yeah, it's like when they say collateral damage, they're talking about us. Directed energy weapons and highly focused energy, commonly electromagnetic energy, towards a target to disable or injure it. Directed energy weapons send highly focused energy, commonly electromagnetic energy, towards a target to disable or injure it. So we're not talking about some kind of electrical device, right? We're not talking about a structure. Target towards a target to disable or injure it. It. Why are they saying it? To injure them. Because it's people. Because I'm one of those people. Because I talk to other target individuals on the phone who are being hit 24 hours a day. We're not its. We're not subjects. We're not rats. We're fucking human beings. We're fucking human beings who live in the United States of America or other countries, and we have the right to live. We have the right to live. We have the right to live and to have freedom. If we're not messing with anybody, we have the right not to be fired upon by directed energy weapons 24 hours a day. And we're coming. We're coming to get our freedom. We are coming to get our freedom. So every vicious, evil, corrupt sack of you-know-what, we're on our way. We're coming. We're forming up. The battle is being joined by non-targeted individuals, doctors, law enforcement, the good guys. They're starting to decompartmentalize what's happening, and we're coming. We're coming for our freedom, and we're coming against this evil Satanism that's taken over the world. Whatever happens, we're coming. Okay, so let me answer this text, guys. Okay, I'll finish this off and I'll respond to that text. Hold on 1 second, guys. Yeah, I'm so tired. I'm sorry if my attitude is bad right now. It's just like this goes on. It's this never-ending war, and then a bunch of people that I love are being hurt. My family, loved ones, and all you guys out there who watch my videos, and just all targeted individuals. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm just gonna shut off the phone. Text that back. I'll text her back after. Okay, where was I? Directed energy weapons send highly focused energy, commonly electromagnetic energy, towards a target to disable or injure it. Well-known types include lasers and radio frequency emitters. Some, like lasers, affect a target's vision. Others use high-powered microwaves to cause a feeling of intense heat without burning the target. The U.S. military, private industry, so United States military mixed with private industry, the military-industrial complex, and foreign governments are all developing these weapons. Some for non-lethal anti-personnel uses and others to disable electronics. So if they were trying to develop weapons for non-lethal anti-personnel uses, what would they do? Like, how would they learn how to do that? And this is all obvious stuff. Okay, this is just concrete proof that citizens in every country are being tortured and experimented on with directed energy weapons and neuroweapons. This is just pure concrete evidence from the Department of Defense saying they're working on non-lethal anti-personnel uses. So that means they can't get volunteers. Volunteers will sue the shit out of them. I think they've tried that in the past before. I think I heard somebody saying that recently, and I really agree with that. They don't get volunteers. They'll get volunteers for maybe some of the, fake arms and stuff like that, or people who are quadriplegics to use their brain to use computers and stuff like that. But just to experiment with weapons like microwaves on them to see the effects on the body, they can't get volunteers because the volunteers would sue them for everything that they have. It just doesn't work. So what do? They find random people, they put non-consensual implants in them, other catalysts, use our unique brainwave signatures, and just experiment on a bunch of people all over the world. And that's only one angle of the uses of these directed energy weapons and neuroweapons to hurt the body, right? There's so many other layers of this. This assortment of technology creates a wide range of potential impacts on people, which researchers are just starting to understand. Just starting to understand. The most likely injuries are to the eyes and skin, said you, unless the directed energy is being funneled into the brain. It's being funneled to the nervous system in the brain through the vestibular system. Then the damage is probably going to be to the brain, I would say. Yeah. Said you, we continue to identify gaps in our knowledge and our treatment and making plans to fill those gaps with new research. So some new research. I wonder who they're going to research on. Please listen to targeted individuals. We're not lying. We're telling the truth. We've been telling the truth for so long. If you're not a targeted individual, please just call your local news, call mainstream media, call the FBI, call everybody. You don't, even if you're a targeted individual and don't want to identify as a targeted individual, just bring documentation to people and say, have you heard this? Karen Stewart was saying that. I think it's a great idea. If you don't want to identify as a targeted individual, just be like, hey, I saw this very concerning stuff. Looks like they're experimenting on people. What should we do about that? Got to just keep talking about it and talk to everybody, and y'all know this. Okay. We continue to identify gaps in our knowledge and treatment and making plans to fill those gaps with new research. We want to be prepared to diagnose and treat injuries from directed energy weapons before we see them on the battlefield. Since directed energy weapons are an emerging force on the battlefield, cooperation between medical researchers and the line researchers developing new directed energy weapons is important. So that means like hospitals and universities, they're gonna work with the manufacturers, right? So that's why you have hospitals and universities putting non-consensual implants into people. They work with the contractors who are manufacturing the weapon systems to send signals to those non-consensual implants. And then there's other ways. Target individual does not need a non-consensual implant anymore, but a lot of them still have them, and they still do put them in target individuals, even though it's a redundant system and they have newer ways of doing it. So collaboration between the Air Force Research Lab and medical researchers has contributed to my language is actually being messed up right now. Like I'm like yeah, the mind stuff. I don't know. Okay, let me finish this up, guys. I'm all right. I'm gonna heal up. I'm gonna attenuate more. I'm gonna find better stuff. I'm gonna use. I didn't use Dave Case's CD last night. So my attackers are like hurting my chest, and kind of the mind stuff's a little bit worse. You gotta stick with it, Since directed energy weapons are an emerging force in the battlefield, cooperation between we read all that already. Okay. Collaboration between the Air Force Research Lab and medical researchers has contributed to research progress on both sides. To me, that's so horrifying. To somebody who has not experienced this torture or doesn't know what's going on, they just be like, oh, well, that's good that they're researching. They're advancing those weapons. Oh, that's great. That's great. Our country's going to be safe. It's going to be in the head of the directed energy weapon programs, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good for our military to fight off all those terrorists, those imaginary terrorists, But to us, it's like that's horrifying because we know what bioeffects research means. When we're having the bioeffects research done on us, and that's only one thing that they're doing to us out of 1,000 different angles of experimentation and torture and psyops, and with the gang stalking mixed in. Whew. Okay. So collaboration between the Air Force Research Lab and medical researchers has contributed to research progress on both sides, and you expects it will continue to bear fruit. Yeah, evil fruit. The military and corporations should never have ever been put together. Eisenhower said it, and this is the hell that you get when it is. You get these new Frankenstein monsters of like, oh, the business side and the military side are making big bucks and killing a lot of people. Got to kill a lot of people. Got to keep the war going. Got to keep the cycle of war going to make money off of the weapons, to make money off of the toxins, to get more control over people. Got to keep it going. Keep that evil cycle going. Cycle it out. Eat everybody up. It's just a big hurricane to just sweep everybody into it. You're just sweeping everybody into it, kind of like into a meat grinder, and just grinding them all up for the heads of corporations and the heads of these military ops that are saying that they're businesses. Like Black Cube or Lockheed Martin or any of these places where ex-CIA people kind of go and they become the presidents or vice presidents of these contractors, and then it's a business. It's a business that has like paid mercenaries and torturers and experimenters to kill people, but it's just business. It's just business. It's just business. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really whacked out right now. I've like had it up to here. Got good stuff going on in my life though. Got good stuff. I hope you guys have good stuff going on in your life. There's positive stuff. There's positive stuff we can have now in our life. Then there's a ton of positive stuff coming up and hopeful stuff coming up. But I'm just angry about what's happening right now and how we're being attacked right now and the people I love suffering. I got to get it out in some way. So hand movements seem to work. Okay. Okay. Since did we already read that? I can't even remember. Like my memory, I'm so ADD and my memory's so bad I cannot focus on anything. That's why I haven't been making a lot of videos, especially on technical information. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do. All right. The counter-directed energy weapons branch connects the medical side of this research. The counter-directed energy weapons branch connects the medical side of this research. And I got sent a lot of other links on counter-directed energy weapons research by naval intelligence. I'm going to go over those, probably not in this video. That could help us in the future if somehow we could get those advancements. I sometimes think that this is just a thought. I'm not sure, but I think because I'm scrambling for defenses and have been for so long, I think my attackers kind of maybe shifted my protocol a little bit to see what I would do. It kind of got shifted into a protocol. I don't know about that though, but that's another thing. I think these people attacking us are kind of maybe getting some ideas from us, because we're trying to stay alive. So necessity is the mother of all invention. Dave Case creates that anti-frequency CD. They're checking out what the people who are dying and need defenses are creating so that they can get ideas. But like me and another target individual we're talking about, we think they already have the cure. They don't put a virus out into the world without having a cure already. So we were talking about it, and we think naval intelligence already has some kind of field they can put around somebody, or something that can totally block out any outside frequencies from the vestibular system or the brain. I think they already have devices. Leave a comment about that if you think they already have 100% defense, like some of these agencies that are doing this to us. Leave a comment saying if you want to leave a comment for that. Leave a comment saying if you think they have something that's 100% effective on blocking this. And also there's really, really high range jammers that are hundreds of thousands of dollars and stuff like that, which that would probably be 100% effective. Okay, so the counter-directed energy weapons branch connects the medical side of this research. We are leveraging this research to help fill in the gaps in our medical knowledge to develop possible medical countermeasures. Medical researchers bring different training and perspective than line researchers who focus on the effectiveness of the weapon and the health and safety of the operator. Asking different research questions pays dividends in learning how to prevent and treat directed energy injuries. So maybe they they're testing the effects of the operators, but they want to make sure that the terrorist murderers who are randomly murdering innocent citizens around the world, make sure they're protected while they use this equipment. and they just flood our bodies with microwaves. How does that work? How does that work? So just lottery, right? Oh, well, you're a person. Okay, you're randomly going to be killed, and we don't care what happens. We want you to get cancer. We want you to go do something crazy. We want to destroy your brain. We want to make your family life. We want to make sure you can't get a job. We want to make sure you're isolated. We're going to really screw you over, and we don't care if you die or commit suicide. Oh, these people who are murderers, we're going to pay them. They have no conscience. They're going to terrorize and murder innocent Americans randomly. We're going to make sure they get paid. We want to make sure that this equipment is safe for them. Insane. Insane. Just insane. It's insane for them to even say something like, well, we want to make sure the operators are safe when they're blasting and frying and cooking and targeted individuals are committing suicide. Insane. We all know this is insane. I'm not saying anything new. I hope this information is new to some of you guys. It's from 2017, but it's just more concrete data, to put on the mountain of concrete data. I don't see how anybody who's really telling the truth and has ever looked at targeted individuals or gang stalking could say, unless they're paid to say that it's not happening, I don't see how somebody looking at the data could say, oh, well, that's just crazy mental illness, and they'd either be so stupid or liars. There's nobody that has an IQ over 100, no, let's say IQ over 70, who could see this information and know that it's happening, that would not know that it's happening, right? It should not exist in the world. It's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Okay, medical researchers, okay, so we already read that. When Lyme researchers zap a tissue, so look what they say there, they're going to be very careful not to say, hey, we're experimenting full scale on random citizens all around the country, right? Because this is the DOD of America. They're going to be very careful to say zap a tissue, because then people think, what do people think when you say zap a tissue? You think of something in a little, a little petri dish, and there's a little piece of skin, and they're shooting it with a microwave. No, they're not. They've been way past that for a long time. They're shooting the people who are still walking around and are innocent and living with their families in the communities. That's the zapping tissue. That's a lie. It's propaganda. All this stuff. The person who wrote this should be put in jail. They should be put in jail and then forced to open a bunch of bananas and tie them to their body, and then a gorilla should be sent into the jail cell to have its way with the person who wrote this. Alright, so okay, when Lyme researchers zap a tissue, they record the physiological and behavioral effects to develop safety standards and predict injuries from collateral damage, said Yu. A medical researcher might look at the same test and learn more, like the medical implications to help identify the right treatment protocols. We don't totally understand how these weapons affect people now. They totally do. They totally know. They already know. They just want justification for more money into the black ops and more justification for more money to be put into different types of researches. They want as much money as they can. They already know what this does to a human being. They already know what it does to a human being over their lifetime. They know what it does to the nervous system and the brain. They're trying to collect more brains and nervous systems so they have more variety in their scientific testing. But they know the bottom line of what shooting somebody with microwaves for their whole entire life does to somebody, what kind of cancers it causes. They already know. They already know. That's a fact. Oh, this is great. We don't totally understand how these weapons affect people now, but through this collaboration, we look forward to making important progress. I'm sure you do. We're hoping, the people who are being murdered by these weapons, we're hoping that you don't make a lot of progress and that we could maybe stop this program where it is in all countries so that people can stop being murdered and everybody would just kind of be at the same level Keep your stupid weapon. Well, don't keep your stupid weapons, but like stop the murder, and then tell the public that these weapons exist. And then some committees can be formed to say what the proper usage is in war and everything like that before we burn down the human race. Before the human race has no chance of actually evolving with our own organic brains to where God wants us to be. Why don't we do that? Why don't we just stop your progress? Because everything from the Department of Defense and the military-industrial complex that's called progress is the destruction of the human race. And that's what I see. That's what I see. Prevention and eye protection is another critical area of research. Just like with a pair of normal sunglasses, eye protection devices only block certain wavelengths of light. For pilots, it is critical to make sure that this eye protection blocks the correct type of wavelength, and that it does not impede their ability to read their electronic cockpit displays. Directed energy weapons are definitely part of the future of warfighting, said Yu. It's in the present. Directed energy weapons are being used everywhere. They're being used to experiment on human beings. They're being used operationally. They're being used operationally all the time in wars and in intelligence activities. They're also being used just to torture people, to shut whistleblowers up, to get revenge and things like that. They're being used for all of it, everywhere, all over the globe. Proliferation. They're proliferated. They're not just coming onto the scene. This is a lie. It's a lie. This is a lie. Okay, definitely part of the future of warfighting, said Yu. We should not sit back and wait for the first injury to occur and react to it. Could you help me and my family, Mr. Yu? Because I'm being murdered by these weapons. I'm doing, better than some target individuals because I'm attenuating some. I can't imagine target individuals not attenuating any of this at all. We are being murdered. We're not only being injured, like our brain is being messed up. We're being injured. Could you help us? Could you help us? Could the counter-directed energy weapons and maybe some of the medical people who are studying the effects of directed, could you just kind of be a good person, maybe decide to be a good person in your life, and maybe treat the citizens who have just been randomly picked to be tortured and experimented on by directed energy weapons and neuroweapons? Could we do that? Could we do that maybe? Well, I'm going to ask Dr. Hoffer. I don't know about this Yu guy, but we're gonna get some doctors. We're gonna get some doctors who got some cojones, and we're gonna get a lot of other people with cojones, because it's an everyday stupid satanic war. It's useless. They're any kind of like the lives that they're wasting to get a little line of data or something to add to their supercomputer AI or whatever, like our personality traits and stuff like that. It's a whole destiny for like a little line of data that they may not even use. It's too much. And I'm saying stuff you already know. Okay, when we do fight that future war, we need to have the correct threat prevention and tools to protect our warfighters. Well, we're fighting that future war right now. Let's put this in perspective. All you targeted individuals making videos, all you targeted individuals watching this video, all you other targeted individuals doing activism, we are fighting that future war right now. Like, we don't have directed energy weapons to fight back with, but we have some attenuation devices. We have defensive shielding that's at the beginning stages. But yes, we are in that future war in our homes. This guy's lying. They can't just, they say, okay, this is what the DOD thinks. The DOD thinks that we don't have a chance to live. That the weapons are so powerful and they're just going to kill us and do whatever they want to us for future wars. I say this is the war. I decide, we decide, in the right perspective, this is the future war in our homes. These directed energy weapons being shot at us, these gang stalkers harassing us. This is the war. Not this the lie of, oh, there's a future war coming because y'all don't matter. Because the people being experimented on right now, well, they're just sacrifices for this future war that they're going to purposefully create that doesn't even need to happen either. This is the war. This is the war. We're in the war now. That's a lie. These people are liars. But I hope this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm in a kind of a piss poor mood. I love you guys. I hope y'all are doing well. I'm gonna kind of end it out there. Thank you, Stacy, so much. You are such an angel. You're so strong. You're so strong. And all you guys out there, I love y'all. You are so strong. You're stronger than you think. You are stronger than you think. And you know, we're all gonna be doing way more stuff to move forward. We're all gonna be doing way more stuff to move forward. Wrecking ball. We're gonna put the wrecking ball together and smash through this. Yeah, and I'm going to see Dr. Hoffer on the 9th, so I'm getting my questions ready for that, and I'll probably just do a live stream where I hang out, kind of go through some questions that I was thinking of, and maybe you guys in chat could offer up some suggestions. Let me go ahead and end this. I'm like real agitated. Um, Sometimes it's good to get it out. We just like you know, we have the right. We're being murdered. This is a war. It's a very perceptually bipolar thing, because the strategic smart thing to do. I'll tell y'all, the strategic smart thing to do when talking about this is to be very nice and very calm, because people can respond to that and they say, oh well, that's a really good human being. They're very strong to be being murdered and being so nice. So the optics and the strategy of that are very good. That's why I want everybody to get defenses, right? So we don't feel as hurt when we're reacting to this, and we seem more logical and level-headed than when it's just full on, like the attacks are just full on, right? But we have the right to be angry. We have the right to be more than angry. And it gets a little bit, for me, it gets a little bit perceptually bipolar, you know. How do I need to act to get us out of, not me get us out of this, but how can I add? You know, how can I add the best I can? Sometimes though, it's just the anger is so much. And I know I talk to a lot of our targeted individuals on the phone, and we get angry, and we're like, this is just unbelievable. But all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I love you guys. Definitely more to come. I'll probably do another short video or live stream this weekend. It's like 4 in the morning right now. Yeah, I can't. I'm having trouble focusing. Like, I'm doing the live streams, but I want to read y'all's chats. And it was the other night. It was very distracting. My ADD is so bad. Mostly from the targeting. It's just like I can't think. I get brain block. So it's like if I do, and I didn't even, like, you know, I wanted to just put this important information out in a short video. I didn't even accomplish that. I had to yell and scream and do all that stuff. But hey, we're just gonna put it out. We're gonna put it out how we put it out. We're gonna roll how we roll. We're gonna keep on moving. All right, guys. All right, guys. I love y'all. Just stay strong. Stay strong. Let's stay close to God. Please, God, help us. Please, God, help us. And He's helped me a lot, and He's helped a lot of other target individuals a lot. We just gotta, keep having faith. I'll leave you with this: climbing up a rock cliff, right? Faith is this hand. Practical solutions this hand. Faith. Practical solutions. Faith. Practical solutions. Faith. Practical solutions. We just keep climbing up. Alright, guys, I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Please stay strong. Please stay strong, and just please protect all targeted individuals out there. Alright, guys, I'll see you on the next one.